and they're the black soldier fly, Vestia lucens. And this species is native to the southern US. It's not a pest species. Its larvae digest a wide variety of organic material. In fact, a lot of the work with this fly initially was done in livestock facilities like poultry operations, dairy manure, dairy facilities, swine manure, etc. So, why are we interested in the black soldier fly and its ability to recycle these materials? Well, I think we all recognize that today in agriculture, at least, we work within a bioeconomy. It's all about sustainability and being efficient with resources that we have available. So while some things that are produced, such as organic waste, may be seen as a burden, they may serve as a substrate for other animals and other purposes. So why black soldier fly? Well, black soldier fly, as I mentioned, it's native to the southern U.S. down through Central America and South America, but it's really globally distributed now, and it's used to recycle organic side streams because it can convert that to insect biomass that can then be used as a feed ingredient for select livestock, poultry, aquaculture, and even pets. Of course, this is all regulatory dependent, and Liz will talk about that in a little bit. But the really interesting aspect of is it is a simple process that's rapidly advancing in terms of technology. And again, others are going to speak about that technology. And what we know with this insect is that its larvae that develop in about 14 days can digest a wide variety of organic side streams ranging from plant origins to animal-based byproducts or side products. So why is this important? Well, a lot of these residuals or feedstocks or waste streams, they often end up in landfills or they're just not utilized. So they become a burden for livestock producers or farmers. And we know that when we recycle this waste with the black soldier fly, one is it reduces greenhouse gas emissions. Two is preventing that material from going to a landfill. So it's diverting it to other uses and it actually reduces the amount of residual that's resulting from the process, which means less material that has to be disposed of. And in most cases, that material can be used as a fertilizer, which our next speaker will talk about. The results in larvae, as I mentioned, can be used as a feed ingredient for various animals. In the United States, where it's approved under certain conditions to be used for swine, poultry, fish, and pets, as I mentioned. And the residual that looks like coffee grounds actually can be a fertilizer. It's high in NPK. It has chitin. Chitin is a polysaccharide that's in the insect exoskeleton, and it's really good for plant health and soil health. And then the associated microbiome of the frass is really good for soil health as well. And that'll be discussed in a little bit too. But again, why is the bioeconomy important? Well, we only have a certain amount of land that's available for mass producing the food that we all consume globally. So we have to be better stewards with the resources available so we can optimize the return on investment. We get the greatest yield for the products we produce that can then be used as feed and food for the animals we consume, but also for people themselves. One of those side streams that we deal with is manure. We recognize that livestock facilities, regardless if you're a broiler operation, a dairy, or a feed out operation for beef, is manure is produced in large quantities. It can be a burden because when you apply it to land, you can only apply it within a certain radius, and then you have to have alternative methods of disposal. And the way I view it is that this resource is rich in nutrients and could be a really vital resource for growing black soldier flies, which we've shown they actually digest really well. In fact, this is just showing percent change in a variety of different elements by black soldier fly when they digest manure. So when you look at NPK, the first three, the three different bars represent different types of manure ranging from dairy to poultry to swine. And that positive number above that zero means that we can get up to an 80% reduction in nitrogen in the manure, or the phosphorus, or the potassium, or these other elements that are there, including heavy metals like zinc. So soldier flies are really good at digesting this. And you may be thinking, how's a larva that's like 100 milligrams going to digest tens of tons, thousands of tons of manure? Well, the cool thing about it is when it's industrialized, and Liz will talk about this, it can digest tons of manure every day because of the scale of the facility. So you generate these larvae, and this is just an image of some dried larvae, but the question is, well, what do you do with them? Well, regulations really determine what you can feed to the larvae. Manure is not one of them in terms of generating larvae that can be used as a feed ingredient. But you may be able to digest with larvae and produce insect biomass that can go to other industries, and that creates opportunities for agriculture and the insects as feed industry as well. So you may be able to digest manure and produce insect biomass that can then be used as a feedstock in the chemical industry, the petroleum industry as well, to produce things such as bioplastics, maybe in cosmetics, or even in human medicine. So the idea is, while not approved to produce feed, it may be approved or used to produce insect biomass that can be implemented in other industries for other purposes. So this is a massive amount of opportunity because we may discover value in those different paths that can result in like an inverse subsidy. What I mean is the value of generating this insect for maybe the petroleum industry can have a higher price point that can help lower price points associated with feed production. It also diversifies product value and shifts market into new areas, which could be critical for the development of the industry. And when I say the industry, I'm specifically talking about mass production of black soldier fly. But of course, there are questions and concerns. We have to think about quality assurance that whatever we're producing, we need to know the nutritional profile, what amino acids, fats, what are in the insect, and what is the value of that to these different industries. We have to watch for contaminations such as zinc or other heavy metals. And we have to be careful about adulteration, fraud, and it has to be traceable. You have to be able to show that if you produce a product, you can show from what it was produced. And that's really important as this industry continues to grow. So where are we? We're trying to fill the gaps. We're trying to look on the inside, looking out, what other industries are there, diversify in terms of engagements, talking to different industries and finding out what opportunities exist. We need to listen to people like yourselves, the questions that you have, make sure that we have the answers that are acceptable. And we have to continue testing and failing, but learning through those opportunities. And that's where someone like me comes in with research. So the first steps, well, we're here today and to talk about black soldier fly and the opportunities with it to digest waste and produce products of value. And getting together like this and working with people like yourselves, we can answer questions that allow the industry to grow, and even talk to those that might be hesitant to this idea and educate each other on what it takes to make it an acceptable industry across the board. But together, we can pursue these opportunities and really diversify agriculture, work within the bioeconomy, and create opportunities. And with that, I have to point out the views that I present are those of myself, not of the National Science Foundation that funds a lot of my work. And I also have to point out that really I'm not the one doing the research. It's my lab. These are the people in my lab, and they're the ones that really are boots on the ground doing the research. So with that, thank you very much.